This tutorial, you're going to go from zero to building your very first functional AI lead qualification tool using Relevance AI. You have probably seen dozens of videos talking about AI agents, but Relevance AI gives you the ability to build different tools where you can use those different tools to power your AI agents. And that's something we'll talk in a later video. But yeah, that's exactly what we are going to do. No fluff, no complicated theory. I'll just walk you through and show you the entire process. And by the end of this video, you won't just understand AI tools. You will have built one that you can actually use to qualify leads for your business automatically. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jaiyash and I help businesses implement AI solutions that actually work. If you're a business owner looking to save time and automate some business process or want to know where you can implement AI process in your business, then I've got few spots open for the AI consultation and the link is in the description below. So now let's dive into building the AI tool step by step. You can see here that I have already named the AI tool as Enrich Contact, and no need to worry, I'll be building this along with you step by step from zero, but this is just to show you how you can create one, and I'll just use this one, and I'll just type in my name, Jayesh Anmol. See. So I'll just run this tool once and you'll get to know if it is able to get the information about me through my LinkedIn and to Google search. And also I've added this thing to Sheets where you can add it to your own CRM if you need. And I'll just skip to the part where it's been able to research and identify. Now it's here. It's been able to get my company name, my company LinkedIn URL, my personal LinkedIn URL, and evaluations about further details were found, company size, industry, yeah, and all sorts of different things. So you can see here in the Google build section, I have added this thing to my, if you go down below, and it's been able to add the following information to the Google Sheets, and we'll check the Google Sheets. Yeah, so it has went ahead and added the following details to the Google Sheets, where this is the old one, and I'll just delete this one. And you can see that it's been able to, and it has been also been able to qualify or not qualify, where I have added the qualification barrier where the company needs to have more than like a criteria of having more than 10 employees. So that's all, and we'll just build it, and I just for the reference I will keep it here so that I don't lose track of where we are throughout the process. Yeah, it's the Relevance AI website, and you just have to log in where I have already logged in. You just have to create an account, and also you can just add some credits so that you can add and create as many tools and agents possible. But you're also fine with the free tier of theirs where you get around 100 credits a day, and within 100 credits I guess you must be able to build this one. So yeah, next we'll just create a name where it's advisable that you give a really recognizable name where the agents that we are going to build on later in my videos, you'll be able to reference for tools, and thus the tool name is important where the agent should be able to call it based on its name. And I'll just type in a short description that. So here's the input section where we are trying to get what are the inputs that we are going to take in for further steps to evaluate. And the first input that I'm going to put in is the name, and I'll just type in the first name. I'll just type in a description, first name of the prospect, and it will be, and here just remember that every time that you are getting an output, this is an output, and we are going to name this output variable name. So I'm just going to name it as first name, where I can use underscore. Next thing would be last name. The next thing that we are going to need is, I guess, the company name. And next we are going to add one more text, which will be the email address. And I'll just name the variable as email address. And you have to make sure that you're always naming your variables because you will be needing them to refer down later on so that you can just use them in the next steps. That's all. And the next step will be, and we are just going to add a note so that we know that at what step we are. It's completely optional that you can add a note if you want or not, and it complete. Yeah. So it's LinkedIn, and I just added a note, and I can just even add a number to this. And the next thing would be that we are going to search for in Google, and we are going to Google for the prospects name and LinkedIn, and we'll just do Google search. And here you can that's what I was saying, that you need to name your variables so that you can reference them by and recognize them. So here when you type in double curly braces, you will be able to refer to the variables, and I'm going to use the first name, the last name, the company name. I'm just going to type in LinkedIn, which is going to be the search query for the Google search. And here I'm going to put in my information, and we are going to run every step that we create so that we know that the step is working fine. And I'll just add it here. Now that I have added my details, I can run this step so that we know what kind of output we are getting from this step. And so yeah, I'm able to find the first query use like for my LinkedIn profile, and we are going to use and we are going to the next step would be to give a JavaScript code where we are going to get the first result from the search. First result from the search. And so here's the code for this one where we are just trying to return, and we are going to string, where from the Google organic we are trying to get the first search result, which is the 0 in the array. 0 is the first position that we are trying to get. Next thing would be that we are going to confirm if we are going to validate, and I'm just going to use an LLM step. So whenever you are using the LLM, just make sure that you are adding your own API. Otherwise, you can use the LLM through Relevance AI, but the credit cost it's comparatively a little higher. But API key, where in the settings you will be able to add in your own API keys. And if I search for mine, I have added my Open AI API key and Open Router API key, where I'll be able to choose from different LLM models. So now I'm going to add in a prompt where from the prompt, the LLM step is to validate that the results that we are getting, the URL is confirmed based on, so just we are trying to extract the URL from the search query and Google results, and I'll just refer to this one. Okay. So yeah, as I was telling, and I forgot it myself, that you need to name your variables whenever you are getting this. So result search result 1. I'll just name it search result 1, and here I'll just name it Google search, and here we'll be referencing to the Google result. We have to just see. I'll just run this step. Yeah, now that I have run this step, and we have got our LinkedIn profile up here where is showing the link, and we just need to extract the link using an LLM, where I have named the variable as search result 1, and thus we are going to refer to the same. Well, I'll just type in double curly braces, and we'll be able to get the search result 1, and that for that one we are using the search result 1 transform. You can select it, and you can also able to see the data, and we are going to run this step. And so okay, it's showing that the LinkedIn URL is found. It's because that I have picked up a really cost optimized model, but I'm going to use a bit of smart but also cost effective model for me, and I'm going to GPT-5 mini so that it will be able to extract only the URL, and that we are going to use it to scrape the LinkedIn profile. Yeah, nice. So next step would be to scrape the LinkedIn profile so that we can get different kind of information from that. And we are going to use the API, get a LinkedIn profile, company, and post. And this is the step we are going to use, and we are just going to provide with the URL, and again we are going to name this one where it will be the URL. We'll just refer this one here. If we just type personal, we'll be able to get this one, personal LinkedIn URL, and we are just going to search the profile, and we'll be able to expand this one and just run with this step. You can always verify that you have your steps run and it shows tick, so that you are not losing out and there are no errors. We'll run this step. We're just trying to get the data for the personal, and it's been able to fetch the data from my LinkedIn. And next we are going to use the data for step would be to the validate step. You can just add a note, where in the other one that I'm referencing, I had added a note saying that validate if the LinkedIn profile is valid, but it's kind of an optional thing. So yeah, the next step would be an LLM step, where we are just going to put in an LLM that we are going to verify if the profile that we have got is the right profile when confirmed from the data. And as I have got in here the first name, the last name, and the company name, it's matching, I'll just change the email address from the input, and from the input I'll just get the email address, and here we are going to put in the LinkedIn data. So I'll just type in here LinkedIn data. And I'm going to reference that variable here so that we are able to reference to the information. LinkedIn data. Yeah, it's showing that LinkedIn data.data. So yeah. And now we'll be able to run this step, and it will just give us a confirmation if the profile that we have been able to verify, it's the one that we are trying to look for the information. This has been able to show the data that the final verdict is yes, and to verify the user, and we are just scraping the right user's profile. And the next step would be to get the final verdict, which we are later on going to use as a filter option. And for this one, I'm going to use an LLM, where we are just trying to get that the reasoning from the last one. So here's the one, and I'll just type in the reasoning, and I'll just like match it here. And if I just confirm it once, it will just go green because I have given the name up here, which is ultimately the variable that we are trying to refer. If I just go in here and I'll just remove this one, I'll just type reasoning, and we are just trying to get the reasoning, the answer from the last step, and I'll just run this step so that we'll be able to get the answer from that one, and we're just going to get the confirmation of yes or no so that we can use it as a filter later on. So as you can see, here's the final verdict is yes. So this step also will be giving out as yes. Yeah, so we'll be able to get the answer as yes, and I'm just going to name it as final verdict so that we can use it as a filter later on. In the next step, we are just confirming that we are able to get the information, and for that I will just use a JavaScript node, and I'll just type in the JavaScript code here, that if the final verdict answer is yes, then this would run fine. And yeah, we have this step, and just run this one, run this step to confirm that it's working. The further details we'll find about the company. Yeah, that's great. So now, based on the verdict, we'll be getting the information that we had referred earlier, and for that we are just going to use the get back whatever your input is. Yeah, and it's a node, and we are going to add a condition, and we'll select a variable. For the variable, we are just going to select the variable where we will able to get the final verdict, where here's the answer. Yeah, the final verdict answer equals to yes, and we'll add a condition that even if it is not case sensitive, unawarded, and we'll just type it in small letters. So yes, as you can see, it's been asking for a code, but you can just change it to select variable, and we are just going to select a variable for the same, where we will be getting the LinkedIn validation. Okay, I guess we have named it something else, where in that step we are trying to get the personal LinkedIn URL, and so now I'll be able to reference to that one, personal LinkedIn URL. Yeah, so we'll run this step, and we have been able to get the URL. And from this, in the next step, we are going to get the company name. And from that company name, we are going to search for the company LinkedIn, and we'll scrape the company LinkedIn for the data. And thus we'll qualify based on the data that we have gathered till now. Yeah, the next step, I'll just type in again, personal LinkedIn. I'll just type in personal LinkedIn. And the next step, it's going to be an LLM step. Where in this LLM, we'll just get the company name from the URL or the data. So you can see that we have got from the reasoning.answer, and for the reasoning step, here's the reasoning, and this is the answer for the reasoning step. And from this, it will try to get the company name, and we are just extracting that. So now I'll just get the reasoning answer and just run this step. And it's been able to get me the Apex AI. And we'll just name it as get company name, and I'll just name it as company name, get company name, and the result will be company name dot answer or data. In the next step, we are going to get the company URL, and even for that, we are just going to use the LLM step and just name it, okay, get company URL. And for that, we are just going to refer from the personal LinkedIn.data, where I guess this one was the LLM step, and in the LLM step, I think I need to rename these ones, where I'm going to search, okay, yeah, validate personal LinkedIn, so that I can refer to them perfectly every time. Now in that step, we are just trying to get the company LinkedIn URL from this one, where we have the company LinkedIn URL here, and we'll just extract the same. And for this, we have to just remember the variable name, which is LinkedIn data. And I'll just go to here, and this one, as the name differs, but because I've copied it from the different one, I'll just type in LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn. I think I just can type LinkedIn data, and yeah, LinkedIn data from this one, the profile that we're analyzing. And for the company name, this is the last step. We are going to refer the last step, and I'll just add that one, and I'll just add company name Apex AI, and then run this step, and we'll be able to get the LinkedIn URL for my company. Now that we have got the company URL, we are going to scrape the same. And for that, I'm going to use the LinkedIn scraper, which is again going to be a rapid API, get LinkedIn and personal one, get LinkedIn and profile and company posts. And I'm just going to refer this one. I'm just have to change the variable name, and I'm going to name it as company URL, and it will be company URL answer, I guess. For this one, I'm just going to use the ChatGPT mini model. We'll run this step so that we can get the output. We got the LinkedIn URL, and we're just going to get the company URL, where we are just trying to get the data from here. Company URL answer, and we'll just try and get the company URL. Like we'll get the get company profile, and we'll run this step. We'll rename this step. Yeah. So now we have been able to get the company data, and from this company data, we are going to qualify based on certain filters. So the next node would be, we'll be picking only some of the nodes, and for that we can just search the pick specific keys, and we'll be getting pick specific keys from JSON. Yeah. And for that, we are just going to have add a condition. And the condition will be if the final verdict, I guess this one was the final verdict answer. Yeah, the final verdict is yes. And we'll add a condition if it is or, if it the final verdict is yes, small s or capital S, and we are going to select variables. Step, we have to select the object that we want to filter, where we are going to filter for the personal LinkedIn data, and I just write in personal LinkedIn data. So from this data, valid personal LinkedIn information, where in here we are trying to refer this step, and we are just trying to get the data from here. We get personal data. I have renamed the one that we scrape the data for, and I've also renamed the variable here so that I can refer it, because the earlier name was kind of confusing. So it is personal LinkedIn.data, because this is the data, and we are just trying to filter out from this. So now we'll go here, and if I just type in again personal, yeah, get personal data, and this is the one. Yeah. And from this, we're just going to keep certain number of fields because we don't need every field. And for the field name, you just have to confirm from the data that you're referring to the correct field, and you're just matching the name and the case sensitive and also the underscore. So we're just going to keep the job title, and the next thing would be HQ country, and job title HQ country is for the city and the state. And now we'll run this step. And now, based on the filters and the fields that we kept, we have just got the specific fields that we want to filter based upon. And the next step, we are almost close to the end, where the next step would be the LLM qualifier. LLM. And for this one, we're just going to use the LLM step, and we're just going to say qualify. And for the qualifier, I have just kept certain conditions and also certain. So I have just kept you are an expert lead qualifier, and I have kept the specifications, also gave on what basis should they qualify or not. And filter LinkedIn data. Okay, filter LinkedIn dot data dot filtered city. Okay, and company size, personal LinkedIn dot data, and the company employee count, which is a variable, where if you just see in the get personal data, here in the data, you will be able to see the employee count. So we are referring to this one. And now based on that one, it will just run the step, and it will just unqualify. You can just put in your conditions, And next, we'll just add it to Sheets. Google Sheets, add single row. Yeah. Now we just have to connect our account, and I have already connected my account. So just make sure that you have your account ready, and you have also created similar sheets where you have also added in the title variables for different cells so that you can add the information there. Yeah. So yeah, so open here. Added my own Google account. We can do the same where you just need to add an account, and this will redirect you to the Pipedream where you just need to give access to Pipedream for your Google Drive so that it can access. So you just have to go through that step. It's not something difficult. And once you add, just you will get your account added. You don't have to do anything else. And just select my drive, and you just have to select the spreadsheet ID where I have already typed in relevance tutorial. And in the worksheet ID, I have added the profile information generator. And for this, just select that you have headers, add the personal information, like I'll just add in name, that from the first name I've been able to get the link from the LinkedIn data. Okay. And we'll add the name. We'll add all these sorts of different information. First name, you can add the first name from the input of the user too if you want. I'll just add in first name. You can add the first name, the company name, where you can get the company name, email address, that also you can just take it from the user. And I'll just type in different things, and I'll just complete this step. You can do it for yourself, and I'll just skip to the end. Map different data to the different sections and or I would say different cells that I want to keep the data in, and also have named these variables as LLM qualified. So you'll just see LLM qualified.answer. And if I just run it once, I just open my sheets. So I already have a data in here, and I'll just make sure I delete this one. I'll just run this step once. Yeah, I just have to run 2 steps. Yeah. So you can see that my data was added to the sheets, and you can just add in any CRM that you want. And based on that CRM, you can connect different triggers and trigger different events. Even you can just follow up with an email, or even if they have given their number, then you can just automatically call them up using AI callers. You have been able to build an AI tool that's automatically research and qualifies leads for your business. This isn't just something cool demo. This is a real tool that can save hours every week for your company, and it is actually worth your time. Now, if you have found this valuable and you're thinking about implementing AI solutions in other parts of your business, maybe automating your customer support or building a custom workflow or setting up an AI powered analysis system, I've got the link below where you can book a free consultation call to see where AI implementation would look like for your specific business. And if this helped you to build your first AI tool, hit that subscribe button, because I'm constantly sharing tutorials like this around real use cases of AI implementation into your business and your life. So that was all it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again on this channel. Until next time.